So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you a free app on the Apple and Android stores that you can use to edit together footage that you've taken on your mobile device. So if you've watched the last video and you've now created content that you intend to distribute on a social media platform, then you'll now be looking to edit it together ready for that distribution. So head over to the Apple or Android store and download the app called InShot. InShot is a free app, and there's also a paid version to remove watermarks and access more features. And in this you can create and edit videos really easily and do most things that you would find in a professional editing program. Some of the features include trimming, cutting, rotating, transitions, text overlays, and a whole bunch of different filters. So let's dive in and cover the fundamentals to stitching together some footage and optimizing it ready for your social media channel. So we're going to open the app called InShot. When you open it up, you're going to tap the video icon because we're creating a new video project. And in here we're going to select the footage that we want to stitch together. So in my case I'm going to select these first four for the purposes of this video. As soon as I've selected them, you then hit the tick down the bottom right. And what that will do is it will collate your footage together into one file, and it's your job then to edit it all. Now I must say, just now I'm editing on an iPhone. You might be using an Android device, in which case the user interface might be slightly different from what I'm using here. But the buttons are all the same, so when I explain the buttons you might need to look around to find them. So when the video project opens, this is going to be the user interface that you'll be met with. So as I mentioned earlier on, we want to optimize our video for a specific social media platform. So the first thing that you want to do is tap on the icon that says Canvas. When we tap on this, this is where we're able to determine which social media platform it's going to be optimized for. So you can see it's really good in the app because it has got a few icons that help you to visualize where it's going to go. So Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick with Instagram with a 1:1 ratio. I'm happy with that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the double tick on the left hand side, which will optimize this for all the videos that I'm using in this project file. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that the video is taking up the full canvas size, because just now it's been compressed a bit to be smaller than the actual canvas size. So to do that, you can either pinch and zoom like so, or you can use the zoom icon here, go back and forward if you need to. Of course, if you want to keep it like that and just have a different type of background, you tap background, and you can have a blurry background, or you can have a colour of some sort, or a gradient, or you can scroll through the different types of patterns and have a pattern in the background. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to make sure that all my videos are just zoomed right in, and they're taking up the full canvas size. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to hit the double tick, which will do apply to all. I'm going to tap that. Happy with it, so hit the tick button. At the bottom of the user interface, you're going to be met with your timeline, where if you scrub through using your finger, you'll be able to see all the footage that you have imported for this particular project file. And in this timeline, if you tap any parts of the footage, you can then top and tail the footage, so that means shorten it if you need to. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to take this particular portion, and as you can see at the end of the footage there's a little tab, and also the same at the beginning of the footage. And all that you need to do to shorten it a wee bit is just to drag that little tab and just make it shorter. So I'm going to take it to the left a wee bit, and I'm going to make that footage considerably shorter than before. I can do that with this one as well. I'm going to make it a lot shorter, so go to the end, take the tab and just pull it to make it shorter. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to keep it as it is. If though one of the pieces of footage has been a time lapse and it's quite a considerably long piece of footage, then I would maybe want to speed up that footage. And the way that we do that is we tap on that piece of footage, we scroll along the tabs here, and we go to the one that says speed, tap that, and we want to speed it up. So I'm just going to speed it right up to 4 times as fast and hit the tick button. And what that will do when I press play is it's just going to speed that video up. So that's just a really quick tip. If you want to make a time-lapse type of video, then that's how you do it. If some of the footage is round the wrong way, then you will tap on the footage and hold it, and what happens is you can then drag to swap it around. So I'm going to make this one the second piece of footage, and the last one I'm going to put in as third, and then tap the little icon on the left hand side there to go back. The next thing on your timeline is you will see some little tabs in between the footage, these little lines here, and these are your transitions between the two pieces of footage. So to change these, you just tap on it and you select one of the transitions. It's as simple as that. So I'm just going to choose a nice basic cross dissolve, and I'm going to make it a bit longer, 1.3 seconds, and I'm going to make that across all of them. So if I want to do that again, I just hit the double tick and that'll apply that transition to all of the pieces of footage. So now when I play my footage, it is going to have a nice cross dissolve between, and that's it. So next up is audio. So if we want to change some of the audio or we want to add audio, then it's very simple. We go over to this section here on the left hand side that says music, we tap on that, and what we are able to see now is the audio files that are associated with the video files. So the one I'm going to use here is the one of the bagpipes. It seems pretty appropriate. I'm going to tap on that, and the volume just now is pretty loud, so I'm just going to bring it down so it's pretty subtle. So I'm going to bring it down to about 5%. Hit the tick button, and now if I play it, sounds good to me. If I want to add a track, so a music track over the top of the footage, then when we're still in this music tab, we just hit the one that says tracks, go in and find, there's some free tracks that are associated with the app, go in, I'm just going to choose the first one and hit use, and what that does is it plunks it into the timeline for you, and you can reposition it by just tap and hold and just dragging it and dropping it. So I'm just going to put it right to the very beginning, scrub back and hit play. But one extra thing that you can do, if you go in and you tap on the audio, you hit edit, you can then choose to fade in and fade out the audio, and again I can just pull back if it's just a wee bit too loud. Happy with that, so I'm going to hit the tick button. I'm going to scroll to the end here, and you'll notice that my music is longer than the rest of the footage, so what I need to do is split this in half and then cut off the tail end. So what I do here is drag the cursor so that it's at the end. I'm going to hit the split tab here and then take this piece of footage and just delete it, and this should still have the fade in and fade out option, so when it gets to the end it fades out. Nice and simple. Hit the tick button and we're good to go. Additionally, with the audio you can add voice overlays as well, so you go back into the music tab, you can just hit this little record tab where you can then have a wee voiceover. So if I tap that, 3, 2, 1, this is a voiceover. I'm going to record this as the video footage is playing, and I'm going to stop it just here because that's plenty. Hit the stop button, go back and listen to it. This is a voiceover. I'm going to record this as the video footage is playing, and I'm going to stop it just here because that's plenty. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Hit the tick button, and now I've got a voice overlay if I need it. And like any pieces of footage or audio on it, if I want to change where that features in the film, I just tap and hold and I just drag and drop. Simple as that. So I'm going to put it in between these two here and hit the tick button, and that is good. And then the last feature that we're going to look at is the text overlays. So you might want to add some text overlays to give a bit of context to what's happening in the video. To do that, we simply just hit the text tab here. We input a text, so at this particular point it's a talking head, somebody being interviewed, so I maybe just want to give who the person's name is. So I'm going to type in Shona. And whilst we're in this part of editing the text, you'll see a bunch of icons across the top here where you can edit the font colour, the font itself, and the transition in and out. So I'm going to change the font itself. I'm just going to have a really simple Helvetica font. I'm going to keep it in white because that's pretty good. I'm going to change the transition to be a nice cross dissolve. Hit the tick button, and then finally I'm just going to drag and drop the text to the position of the screen that I want it to be. So I'm going to put it down the bottom left here. Happy with that, so I'll hit the tick button, and but as I can see, the text hasn't appeared at the right point, so I'm going to go back into the text part. I'm going to drag and drop it over here on the timeline to appear just here, and I'm going to tap on it and make it just slightly longer by dragging these tabs at the end. Happy with that, so as I scroll back, this is a voiceover. I'm going to and yeah, one of the best videos I've ever made. So that's how it's done. That is the fundamentals of importing your footage, topping and tailing it, adding some transitions, adding some audio, and a wee bit of text overlay. After that, when we're done, we need to render the video and save it to our camera roll. The way that we do that is the icon at the top right. We tap that icon, we click save, and this will just render the film and it will save it straight to your camera roll, ready for you to upload to your social media channel. And that's it. That's how it's done. It's as simple as that. Everything that you would expect to find on a professional editing suite right there on your mobile phone. So go play about with it, check out these different effects and transitions, and optimize it for your social media channel where you're going to distribute it to. Thanks for joining me on this tutorial. I'll see you next time.